Hey everyone, welcome back to WWE 12 Universe. I'm Ditch and you're watching Monday Night Raw. Today, it's a very special day here on Monday Night Raw because it's January 10th, and as we all know, that means that it's my birthday, and you have to do as I say. And what I say is watch the video. Wow, 9 years ago, I would have been 17. Wow. 2011, this is I can't do an impression of how I sounded 9 years ago, because we're now at a point where I would have been running the channel, but 9 years ago, oh god, all I know is my accent was very different. I don't really know how that changed over the years, considering I lived in the UK the whole time, but I went from sounding like I lived in the UK to maybe not so much. I'm not really sure how that changed as time went on, it just kind of did. I think it's because I was a bit of a shut-in and I just watched a lot of YouTube, so it was just like I was basically just hanging around people with like thick American accents, and obviously having lived there in the past and everything, it kind of adapted. I don't know why this is taking so long. Let's talk about tonight's show, shall we, rather than talking about my birthday and everything, because it's not actually my birthday, it's the 11th of November, it's almost SARIA'S birthday. But anyway, we're kicking things off with this World Tag Team Championship tournament, which is continuing right now. CM Punk and Edge teaming up for the first time in a tag team tournament semi-final. The winner of this round, the winner of this match, will be guaranteed a World Tag Team Championship match in the finals at the Royal Rumble next Sunday. It's either going to be CM Punk and Edge or Team DZ. One of these two teams is going to be facing off against either the New Nexus or the combination of Kevin Nash and Vader, which will be determined next week on the last Raw before the Royal Rumble. But here tonight, we're on the second to last Raw before the Rumble, and what a match we got to kick things off. Four of the absolute most gifted superstars on Raw in one big tag team match, and of course this isn't the only time we're seeing CM Punk and Edge in the same match before the Royal Rumble, because next week on Raw, CM Punk and Edge meet in a four-way match with Daniel Bryan, as a matter of fact, another participant in this match, and one more participant who is to be determined in tonight's main event. As Batista is set to face off against a mystery opponent, and should the winner, Batista or the other guy, whoever it is, they will be facing CM Punk, Edge, and Daniel Bryan in a four-way match next week to determine the first contender for Brock Lesnar as the World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, the former champion Sheamus, out with an injury right now, unable to compete, unable to invoke his rematch clause. He's got to just sit back and watch Brock Lesnar reign as World Heavyweight Champion. We'll see who Batista is up against tonight, though. You never know who's out back, who's ready for a matchup.
And their opponent from Aberdeen, Washington.
Daniel Bryan, one half of Team DZ. These guys, I think, have a lot of potential as a tag team, but unfortunately their focus hasn't always been in it too much. Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler had a tough choice last week on whether it be Daniel Bryan or Dolph Ziggler competing in a Contenders match to qualify for next week's World Championship Contenders match. Qualifying match, I meant to say, not Contenders match. And Ziggler said that he's blown his last chance as a single star. Let's see Daniel Bryan do better. To be fair, Daniel Bryan got a very decisive 3-minute pin on Randy Orton last week on Raw. Probably one of the worst endings to any match I've ever seen. But there it was. Daniel Bryan with the world's longest pin on Randy Orton, undoubtedly belonging in that four-way matchup next week. These are four fan favorites for sure, but who is going to be the team that is headed for the World Tag Team Championship opportunity? In one sense, I think it would be great for CM Punk and Edge to pick up the victory here tonight and be able to head to the Royal Rumble with the World Tag Team Championship opportunity, and then maybe one of the two facing Brock Lesnar for the World Heavyweight Championship as well. But on another side, I think it would be more beneficial for the two to maybe not focus on being a tag team right now, because the World Heavyweight Championship is an important title, and they do need to get their hands on it. Both of them. And of course, doing double duty, no matter who you're facing, if you're fighting someone and then Brock Lesnar, you are probably doomed. I mean, Brock Lesnar, as it is an incredibly tough opponent, but Brock Lesnar, after you've dealt with a match earlier in the night with a little bit of fatigue, no thank you. Could be a career-defining month for Daniel Bryan, though, if he wins this match tonight, if he wins next week's four-way match. Daniel Bryan set to go in a tag team championship match, and as well as one-on-one with Brock Lesnar, but the same can be said for CM Punk and Edge. A lot of opportunities floating around these three guys right now. Dolph Ziggler kind of, I think, more focused in this match than these three are going to be. CM Punk and Edge, very conflicting colors there. I like that. Actually, that was completely by coincidence. I just remembered that they both had blue attires, but I kind of like the way they mesh, actually. Yeah, same with Dolph and Daniels. I don't really like Daniels' default attire very much, whereas this red and black one I think looks better. I usually love the red and white color combo. It's just something about it with Daniel Bryan that just looks really boring. I was never really a big fan of, like, a lot of his attires. In comes Dolph. Dolph! Daniel Bryan went through a grueling match with Randy Orton in last week's main event. I think it's safe to say Dolph Ziggler needs to take the stage a little more for this tag team tonight. In terms of longevity, in terms of history, you got to give the credit and the favor to Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan. They are an experienced tag team that have been around since very early into the season, around May 2010. We're now here in January 2011. They've definitely got that history behind them, although they haven't teamed all that much. They are at least an experienced team, whereas this is the first time CM Punk and Edge have officially been recognized as a tag team. I believe they've competed in like 6-man tags together before, but in terms of actually being a team, this is the first time they've ever been recognized as one. And that can be a little bit of a risky one. You know, to some capacity, I think CM Punk was kind of hoping Randy Savage would win, that he'd get to team with a hero of his, but in another respect, he knew Edge could have been the better choice, so I think to have the two square off and decide who would be facing him was a good move. And we got a decisive outcome from it.
WWE magazine out this month, and you'll find some interesting articles in there about all the superstars here in the WWE.
Back and forth between Edge and Ziggler. Crazy to think one day all 4 men in this ring could be vying out for a World Heavyweight Championship. You never know what the future holds. But right now, the only one in that ring that has actually ever tasted World Championship gold is Edge, and that was for a matter of minutes. Being cashed in on immediately by Jack Swagger.
So far, this has been a very competitive tag team match.
Swagger got a taste of his own medicine in his second championship win when he was cashed in on by Sheamus, and that was what kind of led to the heated rivalry between Edge and Jack Swagger sparking again. And in the end, it turned out Mick Foley felt they could maybe make a better team than enemies. Turns out they really couldn't, to the point where they had to be driven to separate brands, and I gotta say, so far that has definitely benefited Jack Swagger, the main guy over on ECW. The moment he was in McMahon's possession, my goodness, that guy loves Jack Swagger. He'll do whatever it takes to make sure that guy's still the champion. Into the corner. I think we've seen some pretty good competition from both sides of this tag team match so far. I wouldn't really say either one has shown a more favorable outcome. But one thing I have to mention, reluctantly, admittedly, but I have to mention is CM Punk is, I believe, either the first man or he's right next to being the first man to have ever hit 30 losses in his career. But he does hold a lot of wins too. CM Punk has been a mainstay part of this series since its beginning. What is his record? On the wiki it says it's 16-28, but there's been 2 episodes that haven't been posted yet. One of them was him beating Vader, so he'd be 17-28, and last week he didn't compete. So he's 17-28. As I say, he's very close to that 30 loss mark. I believe the moment he came to Raw, things really went downhill for the career of CM Punk. I mean, admittedly, they weren't great over on SmackDown either. In Season 1, when he was on SmackDown, 8-16 win-loss record. Here on Raw, 8-12 win-loss record. It's not been, or 9-12, sorry, there is that one victory over Vader a couple weeks ago that's not been added yet. I update the wiki once the episodes go up, and at the moment, I'm just kind of bulk recording this series. This is the 7th episode I've recorded that hasn't gone up, obviously, yet. I'm in the middle of recording it. One of them will be going up today. I'll be returning to uploading it. I just kind of wanted to get a little bit ahead. I wanted to get right back into it and then carry on. It's kind of like what I said before, where like I don't want to like bring something back for like 2 or 3 episodes and then drop it again. I like to make sure there's a lot. Obviously with Universe I only really record it 2 days a week. And sometimes I don't record it on the second day because I sat and recorded it for 3 hours the first day. But yeah, I have 2 days a week where I'll record Universe, and obviously if that goes away for about a week, the goal is for it to only go away for about a week. But I really want to get to the Royal Rumble. I really want to know who wins the Royal Rumble. That's always one of my favourite parts in the series. It's just like, I've got a base WrestleMania, one of the main events, I've got a base around someone, and I don't know who that someone is going to be. Could be the most random guy ever. I think the history of Royal Rumble winners in the previous series, they were all really good outcomes, if I remember right. Like, everyone that won it was always a pretty great person to win a Royal Rumble. I was always worried that it was going to be someone ridiculous, and it never ended up being anyone, like, too stupid. There were some that I think maybe got a little early, but, like, it didn't really, like, affect anything. I'm trying to remember who the Royal Rumble winners were in order. We had Edge in the first year, who beat The Rock for the world title at WrestleMania. We had Christian the second year, who beat Edge for the world title. 2K14's Rumble winner. That's where it gets a little blurry for me, because there was 2 years of 2K14, which kind of messes with things a little bit. Who won 2K14's Rumble? I know one of them was Rusev, but I think that was the second year Rusev won, and he lost to Batista. I think that was the first year, because he lost to Batista for the NXT title, and I think Batista was holding it in the first year. Who was the other Rumble winner in 2014/15? I really don't remember. I think Barrett won 1 year, actually. I think Barrett won the first year, and he beat Punk. And then I think the second year Rusev won and lost to Batista, which was the first one to go for the NXT title. 2K16 and 17, I really don't remember very well. My heart really wasn't in it for those later years. I'd had too many people kind of guest star in the series and show that they really didn't give a shit about it, and it was really killing my motivation. That's why I'm trying to stay solo with this one. Obviously, I know I could bring Saria in, no problem, but, like, for the most part, I don't want to bring anyone in. I had a lot of people saying, like, we should do what we did in that one TNA episode, but it's trying to organize it again. It gets tiring. That's not a jab at, like, Dan or Saria or anyone, because they were both in that video. That's why I'm mentioning them by name. It's not a jab at anyone. It's just trying to organize it can really drain you, whereas, like, just sitting down and playing on your own is just, it's easy, it's simple. And obviously I've had a lot of people in the past that were kind of guesting in universe. There was one person, I won't say any names, but there was one person who I could tell never was interested in it, and there was another person who was in several years worth of universe that, from what I heard, was shitting on it quite heavily behind my back, as if I was making them do it. So, as I say, it's just easier for me to just do it on my own. Oh, zigzag! That came out of nowhere. Is this gonna be enough? Referee? Wow, Dolph Ziggler got screwed there. What the hell was wrong with the referee? I think Ziggler could have beaten Punk right there and then. I think I can still look at the wiki history to see who won the last. I want to know who won the Royal Rumbles. I'm so curious. I don't know though. I don't know if you can or not. No, I don't think so. I think it's only if you make a new page for it that you can. Oh well, it doesn't really matter. I was just trying to remember for the hell of it. I just thought it'd be fun to try and like revisit all the people who won the Royal Rumbles. I really don't remember who won 2K16s or 17s.
Wait a minute. Refusing to give in there. What sheer determination.
As I said before, I just don't think my heart was in it as much the last like year or two. I don't think I got very far into 2K17, so I think I'd more say the last year, 2K16. Wasn't it Corbin that won the 2K16 Rumble? Had that big rivalry with Undertaker. That sounds about right. As I say, I just like to revisit it in my head. I like to see how much of it I remember. It's like a fun little challenge for me from time to time. But yeah, I know for sure the 2K17, that was, you know, as I said, my heart just wasn't in that series. And it wasn't because of like me doing it for too long or anything. It was just like all the shit surrounding it. It had kind of gone downhill quite a bit. The only reason I'm going on about this anyway is like maybe in future this will hopefully get people to not ask me to involve too many people. That's why I don't have like CAWs based on too many people. I just don't really want any of that. I hate that he always goes for that top rope spear. It's so stupid. It kind of like wowed me the first time I saw it, but the idea of like the AI only ever using that version of Edge's spear as his finisher just seems really dumb. Maybe I should take it out of his moves. I don't really like to mess with the moves in the game, but maybe I should take it out. I just don't think it's that cool of a move. It just seems like overly complicated for nothing. It seems more like it would be like a reversal. Like they position him on the top rope, he strikes them away, they're stunned, he dives off the top rope and spears them. Like that to me seems like the way that the top rope spear would work. To actually just like knock them down, climb to the top, and then call for them to get up so he could dive into their waist. Just seems stupid. Go on, Punk. Okay. Pins off of a double flapjack. And I guess that was enough. Sure, why not? So CM Punk and Edge advance to the finals, and this new tag team on the scene will be competing for the vacant World Tag Team Championships at Royal Rumble. Punk has been due a rematch for a very long time, but his partner Kane turned on him, and he's just not been able to find anyone. Could this finally be the moment where CM Punk wins the World Tag Team Championship? This is a very unlikely tag team partner, a very unusual combination, I will admit. But they seem to work well tonight. They beat an experienced tag team. This could be the start of something great. CM Punk and Edge victorious as we move on. Up next, I believe the European Champion Wade Barrett is in action. Well, as I said before, Wade Barrett was in action. This is not what I had in mind. Batista being targeted by Wade Barrett and William Regal out back. I don't really know what this is all about. Wade Barrett was supposed to be in singles competition. I would assume more to do with his current ongoing issue with the waste of space we call Santino Marella. But it looks like Wade Barrett and William Regal have taken it upon themselves to attack Batista. As you can see, Regal not in his wrestling gear. The man is still not medically cleared to wrestle. But I guess he's decided that he is capable of at least attacking someone backstage. Well, isn't that a relief? I don't know what could have caused this. We haven't seen Batista on Raw in several weeks. The man's been looking forward to the Royal Rumble. He was told he was going to get an opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship in tonight's main event. It was going to be Batista up against a mystery opponent. Winner gets a world title shot. Well, not a world title shot, but they get to be in that four-way matchup for a world title shot. Winner meets Brock Lesnar for the World Heavyweight Championship, and I gotta say, Batista versus Brock. If there's anyone on Raw I could see bringing the Brock to a certain level, I would absolutely say Batista and Brock Lesnar have what it takes to put on a great match. William Regal just kind of paying back up to Wade Barrett. Not really a surprise. The guy can't take too many bumps. He's already hot. Almost just trying to distract Batista as the European champion. I mean, he could be writing his own death wish right now. He doesn't want to hold that title for too long if he wants to cross Batista, that's for sure. I don't think so. Oh. Can't take too many of those on the concrete. Concrete, damn it. Batista shoving. He's shoving.
Now that's how you do it.
No. Barrett. Oh my god. Ooh. Oh. Okay. He has a voiceover. Good for him. Wade Barrett and Regal laying out Batista backstage. What does this mean about tonight's main event? I don't know. Why did Barrett do this? I also don't know that. But what I do know is up next, Kharma is going to try and show up Beth Phoenix once again by beating one woman Phoenix wasn't able to beat. Someone Kharma has suffered a loss to in the past, but Phoenix believes she couldn't be either. It's Kharma and Tiny Shiny, everybody. Alright everybody, Tiny Shiny back in action by popular demand. She is one of the only newcomers to actually have any success. In terms of CAWs, I'm of course talking about. There's been plenty of people that have come in this season and been a success. Jetstar, Nemesis, we don't talk about them too much, but Tiny Shiny, I think she's got a pretty damn good record. And I believe, oh, she's a former champion to be fair. Yeah, she's 10-6 with one no contest. Most recently beating Beth Phoenix on the 15th of November. We've not seen Tiny Shiny in 2 months.
And her opponent from Carlsbad, California,
Well, Tiny Shiny is one of 2 women to ever beat Kharma, and if she beats Kharma here tonight, we have been told that she will be next in line for the Women's Championship. This is technically a Contenders match for Tiny Shiny. If she can beat Kharma, she will meet Beth Phoenix next week in a non-title matchup as well, regardless of the outcome. She's kind of the final obstacle, someone that they've both had struggles beating. She's just so damn talented. If you might have noticed, I haven't updated Tiny Shiny's Titantron yet. I corrected her a little bit because Saria doesn't have fucking 2010 Diva implants. So I've fixed their character model a little bit. When I originally transferred over to PS3 and 360, I accidentally left like bodies and faces as a default. So I just thought I'd randomly mention I've taken the time to quickly adjust myself. I've tried to make her look more like Saria. Just felt like mentioning that. Admittedly, the face still isn't very accurate, but it's so hard to get a good face in this game. Like, it's really difficult to make anyone look like anyone. The CAWs in this game are not very good.
And another ground-shaking suplex.
I just remember so many that I had over the years and how they all just looked like the default dudes dressed up as, you know, like popular wrestlers.
Wait a minute. And she escapes the hold. See the head whip back. Stuffed again.
Tiny Shiny bringing it to Kharma so far, and as I said before, she can win this match here tonight. She's one step closer to the Women's Championship. She's currently got a winning side in the win-loss column, and she is one of 2 women to have ever beaten Kharma. And I really like her moves. If I'm not mistaken, I think she has a near copy of Nemesis's moves. I changed, obviously, like the essentials, like taunts and signatures and finishes. So it should be very familiar, but I'm not entirely sure. I put a lot of time into Nemesis's moveset, and then I asked Saria what she'd like for hers, and she was just like, oh, I just want the special moves. Originally, I think her template was the Great Khali's, but I just didn't feel like that really fit her. So we went with Ray's for a little while, if I'm not mistaken, but again, I didn't feel like it fit. I quite like this this one, though. I feel like it fits both Nemesis and her. I took a lot of time to work on it, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, I don't remember now. It was a while ago. I'm pretty sure I spent at least a couple hours on it, though. I like to try and put a lot of effort into them. It's just once I've done one, I really don't feel like doing more, generally. I don't really find the create a moveset part of the game very fun, when I'm completely honest. I find creating characters to be, like, kind of fun. You know, like a complicated like entrance and stuff can be kind of fun, other than camera angles. But like, okay, you right there, Kharma? But like the one thing I'm just not keen on in these games is the moveset maker, and obviously like as the games go on, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and like that's great. I'm glad there's such a huge variety and everything, don't get me wrong, but I also look at it and I'm just like, ugh. It's so daunting. You also don't want to make sure, like, you also want to make sure that like you don't give them like finishes as just random moves and stuff, and like that can be really difficult, and I get bored of previewing all the moves and I don't know them all by name. So like, I kind of just pick a style. Like Nemesis, I've always made like very kick based. I don't think I'd be much of a punchy kind of guy. I'm more of a kicky kind of guy. Hence why she's doing loads of kicks, because as I said, I think it's mostly Nemesis's moves. I just think I like the effectiveness of kicks more, I don't know. And I just kind of based the moveset around like using the legs a lot. But yeah, I don't really know why I'm rambling about this. I just obviously don't really know what to talk about. Oh, in regards to our previous attack that we saw from Wade Barrett on Batista backstage, Barrett has actually expressed that he found out that he wasn't the mystery opponent for Batista. He went backstage and asked Mick if Mick was ready for him to be competing for the World Heavyweight Championship whilst being the European Champion. Mick laughed, said, "No, you're the European Champion, Barrett. I ain't doing this double champion business no more." And Barrett took it upon himself to take out Batista backstage, and he has demanded that he gets a one-on-one match with a mystery opponent tonight. He's going to take Batista's place in the main event, and he's going to take the World Heavyweight Championship contention next week. He's going to beat Brock Lesnar. He's certain of it. Should be plenty of Universe episodes coming up next week with any luck. I've got a week away from work, so instead of my usual 2 days to record, I'll have... Oh geez, I don't remember how long I booked off. Hang on. I think it's quite a lot, because I landed it so that I get my normal 2 days off, and then another 2 days off. Yeah, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shifts of work, and then I've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I've got 9 days to record. So with any luck, I could get loads of this done. If I stick to my average, I do about a week in a sitting. I could get 9 weeks done. I mean, probably not, because the pay-per-views are normally an entire sitting. If I record like the Royal Rumble, for example, that will be that entire morning. Like I won't record any other episodes when it comes to pay-per-views because they're so big. But I could get a lot of the Road to WrestleMania out of the way. Because we've got... If I manage to get ECW and SmackDown recorded today, so I don't always, admittedly. Sometimes I'll do like 1 or 2 and then I'll get kind of like, I'm not in the mood anymore, you shouldn't carry on if you're not feeling it, etc, etc. But if I get to SmackDown and I finish it and, you know, we get on to the next episode of Raw, that means that the first day I could record a week to Rumble. Then I could record the Rumble. The 4-week build to Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber itself. Oh my god. Oh, I thought she'd done it, because I'm pretty sure the Falcon Arrow is her finisher. And then a couple weeks. Yeah, I could be really close to WrestleMania if I managed to record every morning. But that's only if I record every morning. I mean, the main reason I have the week off is because it's Saria's birthday, so naturally I won't be recording on that day. Yeah, I'll try to squeeze in as much as I can. I really want to keep this series going extremely smoothly if possible. Tiny Shiny hooking that leg. Is she really going to be able to do it? And once again, Tiny Shiny picks up a victory over Kharma. Hard fought, might I add. That was not an easy match for Tiny Shiny, but she just continues to show that she's got what it takes. I think I need to shrink her hips a little bit. I tried to give her like indented waist that she's got. She's got a very hourglass figure. She's got a nice butt, is what I'm saying. I think I might have gone a little bit overboard, so I'm gonna have to fix that. But otherwise, I think I did a good job. Well, Tiny Shiny is victorious. She's picked up the victory over Kharma, who looks shocked, frankly. Once again, the third loss Kharma has ever suffered, and it puts Tiny Shiny right in potential contention for the Women's Championship. All she's got to do is next week, when she faces Beth Phoenix, knock off the Women's Champion, and whoever wins that 2 out of 3 falls match at the Royal Rumble, she's definitely getting a shot no matter who it is. This has been a big win for Tiny Shiny here tonight. But now let's move on to our main event. Wade Barrett has demanded that he takes Batista's place in tonight's main event. Whether Foley likes it or not, that is next. And a slight update for you all. Wade Barrett has been told no, he cannot compete in tonight's match unless he tells Regal to shove it. Unless Regal is told not to assist him in tonight's match, he is banned from ringside. Oh, looks like he's up for the challenge. The European champion himself is trying everything in his power to get his hands on the World Heavyweight Championship as well. It looks like he wants to do exactly what Sheamus was never able to achieve. So Wade Barrett will be the man to compete tonight in the main event in place of Batista. Really forced his way into the match, and with obviously the limited roster that we've got at the moment, looks like Foley had to take it on a compromise. Regal banned from ringside. But who is this mystery opponent. Who is Barrett going to be facing off against? Oh my goodness. Is this for real? Wait this out. Is this... We haven't seen him in a good month or two. Oh, the suspense. There he is! Oh, that reaction! I love a good reaction. My God. Fans have been waiting for this guy to come back. Drew McIntyre making his way to the ring. Oh my God, he ain't waiting. He's been wanting this for a while. Straight on Wade Barrett. Well, it was originally supposed to clearly have been Drew McIntyre versus Batista for that final spot in next week's four-way matchup. But Drew McIntyre getting exactly what he wanted in a way by Barrett's greed. Drew McIntyre and Wade Barrett are going to be facing off tonight. Some say the rightful European champion against the current European champion. Yeah, okay, they may have kicked Sheamus to the curb, but Drew's not going to forget two things. One, Barrett is holding his championship, and two, he was a part of that 3-on-1 attack after announcing that he was injured. He warned Barrett and Regal. He said, you guys are still my friends, but be careful of Sheamus. And in the end, what did they do? They attacked him too. That same night. I gotta change Drew McIntyre's attires. I don't want him to have the one that matches Sheamus anymore, obviously. But I don't like this attire. He just kind of looks like he's wearing the Confederate flag. I don't know. It doesn't really feel very Drew McIntyre. Even though it is an attire he did actually wear. We had a discussion about this in our Discord. I did not think it was. It's not nearly the neon red that it is in this game. But yeah, he did actually wear this. Oh, Drew. Ooh. Tearing into Wade Barrett. This is a man built on motivation right now, and it shows. Oh. Devastating future shock DDT on the European champion. Is this going to be it in a minute and a half? Oh, Barrett's still able to kick out. It looks like that future shock may have been the exact wake-up call the European champion needed to get into this match. Cannot believe the reaction that Drew McIntyre got when he walked that curtain. There was kind of some muffled cheers when his theme song hit, but we weren't entirely sure. And the second the man actually came out, that couldn't have been more perfect, to be honest. The crowd absolutely erupted at the sight of Drew McIntyre. Barrett and Regal responsible for the injuries sustained at Batista, who was supposed to have competed tonight in this main event match. Once again, Batista's opportunity has been stolen from him. Seems like that guy just can't catch a break.
Wade Barrett loves to utilize a brawling, rugged style. This has been a war.
Drew McIntyre and Barrett very physical with one another. Two former allies, members of the United Kingdom, something that is now the name of a tag team. William Regal and Wade Barrett, the previous World Tag Team Champions. Regal out with an injury, Sheamus out with an injury, but Drew McIntyre seems to be back. And back with motivation. This is his first match as a fan favorite to my knowledge. Man took an opportunity to swing Sheamus and then had to vacate the title the very next week. But he got exactly what he wanted. He got to put the United Kingdom behind him and try to be a better man. Ooh, big chop there. Fans love Drew McIntyre, and who can blame them? I love Drew McIntyre too. I have for a very long time. Been one of my favorites. Especially if you watched the previous show. I like referencing the previous version, like the earlier years, alright? Especially when I did shit like have Brock Lesnar lose the world title to Drew McIntyre like 6 years before it happened in real life, alright? And Drew McIntyre, just like that, a second Future Shock DDT, and he has just laid waste to the European champion Wade Barrett. This man came in with a mission tonight, and that mission was accomplished. Drew McIntyre claims the final spot in the World Heavyweight Championship Contenders match next week, and we now know that it will be Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Edge, and Daniel Bryan competing for a shot at Brock Lesnar's World Heavyweight Championship, the Royal Rumble, the very next Sunday. I don't know which one of those four is going to come out on top. Leave your predictions down below. We've also got the new Nexus versus Kevin Nash and Vader in the semi-finals. Winners meet Punk and Edge for the World Tag Team Championship at the Royal Rumble. Boy, it just feels like it's looming closer and closer. And of course, Beth Phoenix, the women's champion, facing off against the unstoppable Tiny Shiny next week on Raw as well. I cannot wait. What an episode that's going to be. But for now, thank you all for watching this episode of Monday Night Raw. I will see you tomorrow night on ECW.